I would like to know the history of your company, when you started, what your key ideology is, and where you are spread across geographies and all that. Just an introduction about you and the company.
CBC is a social enterprise based in Rwanda. We are 9 years old, completing our 10 years this year. And we combine profit and social impact. And to make sure we are a real company having proper strategies and proper goals at the company level and at departmental levels, and to stop a heavy dependence on external consultants who have been helping us for our first 5 years of existence. We wanted to have a system in place that helps us to track our growth progress, to set goals, and to have strong strategies. And that's how we started searching on the internet, looking for proper ways of doing it. If I'm not mistaken, we started in 2019 searching for a proper platform to use, and we chose to go online. We started with different other platforms that didn't work, and we tried them for some years. It didn't work properly, and we decided to do another research. When we saw profit.co, then that's where we stopped and checked on all the features and found that it must be the best one, because it had it was easy to operate. Any team member could be able to track their progress, like all the department heads. And in addition to setting in there the company goals, we could see that this OKR process is much better, well structured in a way that all the departmental goals can derive from company goals, and tasks can be easily created and tracked. And that's how we decided to go with profit.co. And of course, we are learning its features as we go, but so far we are satisfied. Thank you.
Thanks,
thank you,
Darius.
I wanted to add just a little bit more context, if you'll allow me, Nisha.
Yes, please
on
go ahead.
on some of the things that Darius has highlighted. We're a social enterprise, but then we're also a business at the end of the day. So Abahizi is a company set up in Rwanda, but we produce luxury handbags for some of our global clients in the US, that is Coach and Kate Spade. And that has been happening for the last 9 years, like Darius has said, and we're going to hit our 10th year in July of this year. So on top of being actually a business, is that we have that social commitment to actually improve the livelihoods of the people we work with, and also the community in which we work with. And part of that is a big component of who Abahizi, what Abahizi is that we are actually a women empowerment company, where we employ over 300 employees, and over 90% of that is actually women from the rural community in which Abahizi is actually set up. So we've been doing this for the last, now going on 10 years. And this has, the reason why also this goal setting became very important for Abahizi is because prior to 2019, we did not have any, there was no goal setting or like OKR setting within Abahizi. And the journey actually began at the end of 2019, just before the pandemic started. And that is because we wanted to have a system, like Darius has said, and a framework in which we could actually track our OKRs. And this began with the development of a strategic plan that was developed at the end of 2019. So we wanted to have a system or a platform which through we can track this, or our achievement or our success and our failures, or where we were lagging behind with the implementation of this particular plan. And so that is just a brief of what Abahizi does, but also a brief of how on when we began the OKR journey within Abahizi.
Thank you for that detailed introduction. How you have progressed across the years, and I checked out your website, and amazing work and great idea of mission and your vision for the community at large, women empowerment especially. It's very uplifting to see that. I can see that why you felt the need as part of your strategic initiative to onboard a platform like an OKR methodology. What is the one main challenge that you thought you can solve with the OKR methodology?
What I would say is that with the OKR, like I said previously, there was no history with OKRs or goal setting. So it was not so much a challenge at the point, more than, okay, so we have this strategy that we have to implement. How do we track it? So I would say that the main intention behind it, or the original intention to set up a framework, was to track success and failure, as well as we're looking for a way to implement the strategic plan for the organization.
Thank you.
Obviously, it evolves.
Yeah, please go ahead.
No, I was going to say eventually it evolved into something that as we worked through, okay, so this is a strategic plan that departments will eventually, department heads get a say in, or, like contribute to the achievement of it. It later evolved into a matrix that could be, like, adopting the framework evolved into something that could be integrated and used to amplify a performance management structure at Abahizi, which we were actually actively looking for. So that is just something like a secondary motivation, but the original intention was actually something that would track our success and failure, and the metric to track or to integrate a performance review system just came with what already we were looking at.
Perfect. When Darius was talking, he mentioned that you had tried some other platforms apart from Profit. Could you just elaborate on that experience?
One of the other platforms we had tested just before, so we got on board with Profit.co, I believe in 2021, mid-2021. But prior to that, as we're trying to integrate, we are trying to integrate a different platform called Wikdan. But it was a bit technical to use for the team, given that it was a new process that we were actually bringing on board. We had never done something like this before. It was a little bit difficult, and the introduction to the platform was not really the best, and it kind of left the team overly confused on how to track the metrics, because I think we did not have enough time to actually get into the system and fully understand it before taking it on. So there was a lot of confusion on how are we tracking, what are all the KPIs, are those KPIs even suited for an organization at Abahizi's level, and how do we navigate that? So there was a lot of confusion in the initial process, and eventually the team felt like it was a lot of task. It was more like it was more tasking than it was helping the organization. But then we had also tried in the meantime eventually we were also trying to take back the data to Excel also, but it was never presenting the best, it was never actual, it was never real time. It always had something to be updated. So again, it became another task that you have to remove information from this platform, bring it to Excel for the company to see, we were never in a position where we could be able to actively generate something like reports that we could see in real time, and we had to transfer the information to a different software to try, but then none of that was working out. So then that's when we began, what else makes sense? What else can we start with from afresh? Because one of the other things that everyone knows is that we've worked with consultants, even during the integration of Profit.co. We were working with a consultant, and that was the same situation with Wikdan. So we wanted something just fresh as, let's get into this we're getting into this with a new consultant. Let's also get immersed in there together and learn together. So I think that was why we had to move to a different platform from WICDA.
And that was very insightful that you felt when you used Excel that it was not real time, and that your reports and all that, which is a more comfortable option in Profit.co, is the highlight why you chose Profit.co. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you share your onboarding experience of how the Profit.co team and the consultants helped you onboard Profit.co in your company?
Before we go to that, I wanted to share also that by the time we were trying other platforms, we were even confused about OKRs. Like we were taking like OKR as one thing. But with the Profit.co, we were able to know like differentiation of objectives, key results, sub-key results, and so on. Before, it was just one thing, OKR, and it was a confusing thing, really. We were confused with all the concepts, but all was sorted out with Profit.co.
Okay. Did the consulting team help you with that? The customer success and consulting team?
Yes. So, like I've mentioned, we had a consultant like facilitating this process, Talia. You had and I mentioned her. So she was, a lot of the onboarding process was actually facilitated by her, but she was also working closely with us, with Darius and I, and we're always in the loop of what was going on and channeling all the relevant questions or concerns to the Profit.co team through her. And my observation, even from the backseat, was that these were being addressed very thoroughly and also in a very timely manner. That we will be confused about a particular aspect, and Talia would jump on email and message the sales team at Profit.co, and immediately, like, she would have a meeting set up and they would go through even the adaptation to adapt it to Abahizi specifically, like there's the whole interface, but then also learning it in a way that adapts Abahizi as a company, so that it felt more, like more personal, I guess, to Abahizi, as opposed to just a generalized interface. I think was really key in even bringing the team on board with, okay, look, this feels more at home than just any other generalized kind of platform. So that was really, really helpful. And I saw it in real time, the exchanges between our consultants and the Profit.co team, and how we would then get looked into what we wanted, like how can we make this work for you as Abahizi, as opposed to just a generalized kind of thing.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I think the customization is what has helped you. And like Darius mentioned, what Profit.co specializes in our consulting and the coaching team is first to educate on what is OKR, so that people get comfortable, and then our customers can see the benefit of how this can play out for an organization. And I'm very happy that you have found this and you're using it. And I'm sure I'll pass on your compliments to the team who have helped, and your consultant who has facilitated the whole thing. The other thing that I would like to know is, do you have any measurable outcomes after you have adopted Profit.co's OKRs for your organization?
That was lacking was, first of all, department cohesion within the organization. We're not a very big management team, but everybody was kind of doing their own thing. And right now, if you were to go to the team, we're all speaking the same language, basically. Like it brought back that department cohesion, first of all, that we all have the same visualization. We all, we're working towards a similar thing, and anybody right now is able to tell you exactly what are we reporting on, what are we working on this year. So there is that aspect, but then also, like you said, the more the team has worked with this, of course, as with any new platform, there is a lot of assistance that was needed initially with the onboarding, the setup, and everything. But as we walked through it, like, it has proved to be very user-friendly and very easy interface to actually work with. And the team, I believe the team actually enjoys working with, because part of our KPIs for a young company like Abahizi is, and for a new, I guess, for a company that is using OKRs or, adopting OKRs for the first time, having it task-based as opposed to like very heavy KPI related metric system like the team is able to set and like actively just move over their task in a reflection of how then they've performed within their individual department and how that then feeds into the overall company. I feel like overall we've also set in like more regular check-in meetings on how are we tracking, and that is of course using the feature on profit.co of meetings. Like we are able to actually set meetings to discuss OKR progression across the company on a monthly basis actually, and then from that basis then we are able to see how much faster are we moving, or are we stuck, or is there any way anybody needs some sort of help, as opposed to previously when we began this, like it was like almost everybody was left to figure out their own devices. But then as we've used the platform more, we've gotten acquainted to more features that are enabling us to continue enhancing our utilization of the platform. And now the team is actually able to, to move a lot more faster and to set up even more meaningful tasks and goals on the organization. So I don't know whether that is tangible enough, but that has been one thing that has been measurable. Like we can distinctively say that from 2020, when we got into the system in 2021 to now, people experience a real shift in like, okay, oh, this is what we used to do in 2021, or this is how we dealt with it in 2021. But right now we can see why that was not maybe the right way to deal with it, or why this is probably a better way to set a task like this, or to set a department key result or whatever like this.
Perfect. I think the employee engagement has gone a top notch now with your company. And
Yes.
I'm sure it will change the culture of the organization soon, because everybody feels one with the organizational goal and vision and mission. I'm sure they know what they're working towards, which
Yes.
is a good part, that there is accountability and collaboration, which is, amazing. As we are winding down, I would like to ask you, if you want to summarize your experience with Profit.co in one line, what would that be?
Personally, I would say, I guess, excellent customer service, and it's the platform is an excellent and a friendly user interface. With as little practice as possible, it's easy to navigate through the platform.
Thank you. Amazing. And what is your advice for companies who are looking to adopt OKRs?
I think it's the best way to go, honestly. It's an easy way to track and have a shared vision with everybody on the team. So yeah, it's a definitely good strategy to adopt OKRs. Okay,
all right. With that, thank you so much, Caroline and Darius. We've got an amazing customer success story with you. And I wish you all the best in your OKR journey as you move forward. And thank you for your time. Thank you so much, Michelle.